Well, another day of working on my C-cab project. For anybody who's been following along, I think this is going to be episode 30. I've been numbering them, so if somebody wanted to go back to the beginning to follow the whole build, you can. Tomorrow, my welder friend Dakota is going to come back and weld up all the tabs on this rear end. So what I need to do today is get it out here in the middle of the floor. We're going to get it up on some jack stands and take the rims off of it and get it cleaned up where he can just start welding on it tomorrow. I got the rear end put up on jack stands, and I went ahead and drained the oil. I got it all cleaned up and ground down where he's going to weld today. And this way I can turn the pinion and rotate the rear for welding, make it a lot easier. As soon as he gets done with the welding today, I'm probably going to go ahead and pull the axles out, pull the pinion seal out, replace the seals in it, get it all cleaned up. This way I can go ahead and paint this at the same time when I paint the frame. Want me to hold it?
Let me grab this one right here.
Alright, now we'll spinner it. It should stay right there, yeah.
Well, we finished welding all the tabs on the rear end, but there's two pieces I forgot right here. These here get welded onto the frame up in the front on the bottom of the frame. And what they do is you weld them on there, and then where the brake line comes in, the steel line will come in on this side, and then the flexible line to the wheel will be on this side. And this just mounts there to fasten the steel line to the frame. So what I need to do is weld two of these up onto here like this for the brake line. Yeah, that looks good. Looks good. I wanted to show you here quick the piece. Like I said, this piece here will go through here like this, and then that clip will clip into the back part, and then the steel line will go back this way, and the flexible line to the wheel will go this way. There's one more thing we gotta weld, is the back radius rods. There's spacers in between to hold them, to make them rigid. I gotta go over here and get those welded. The last thing we got to weld is these things. This right here. I bought these from Speedway for the rear radius rods. And once you bolt them into the mounts, then you can weld these in, and that way this won't adjust no more in or out. So you had to put them on the car, get them in position where you want them, and then tack these in position so that when you take them off, like I said, this dimension here doesn't move. And that should be it. We get this done, I think all the welding will be done. Well, it took him a little over probably an hour, but he got it welded. Everything is done on that. Again, we got the tabs put on for the brake line mounts, and also he got the radius rods in the back, the spacers, the stiffeners welded in. So everything came out really good. Now everything on the frame and the suspension should be welded. It needs to be welded. I'm gonna get ready now. We'll open this back up. I already drained the oil out of it, but I want to pull the drums off. We'll pull the axles. I want to change the wheel cylinders and put new seals in it, check the bearings. So let's see if we can get this thing opened up. Well, first thing I want to do is I'm going to pull the axles out. And I thought I'd show you quick on this Ford 8.8. You see this here is a set screw, I call it, but then a locking screw goes in here. So you take this screw out first, and that screw goes through here, and then it goes in through this pin. You can see the hole through it right here. And what that does is stops the axles from coming inwards. So what I did was take a magnet and use a magnet to pull the pin out. All right, and then once you got the pin out, what you can do is rotate the pinion. Let's go this way. Like that. And then push the axles in. And when you push the axles in, now that the pin is out of the way, you can get to these two clips, which I already took out right here. There's one on this side and one on this side. So you push one in and take the clip out, push the other axle in and take the clip out. And once you take the clip out, you see here you can pull the axle out. The clip actually goes in this groove right here, and that's what holds the axle from coming out. And the only way you can get the clip out is to take the pin out, push the axle in, remove the pin, then you can pull the axle out. So anyway, that's one. I got the clip off. I just got to go pull the axle off the other side. The brakes are wore out. I don't trust the wheel cylinders, so I'm going to replace the wheel cylinders. Going to, replace the brakes. The one brake drum, I think it's this one here, it's got a pretty good gouge in it. Somebody ran it down too low. So I might see about just getting new drums also. And then get this flushed out, and I'll flip it over. We'll change the pinion seal and put it all back together, and we should be good to go. Well, the next thing I'm going to do is pull the axle seals out. I never had so much trouble in my life getting a seal out. I probably spent 10 minutes with a 5-pound slide hammer, and it pulled so hard. You can see here, it just ripped the sheet metal out, wouldn't pull the seal out. I ended up taking a chisel and cutting it inward and collapsing it, and then grabbed it with the vice grips and pried it out of there. I'm hoping this other side goes a little easier, but it doesn't look like it. You can see here, it looks like it's been rusted in there and dirt and whatever. Let me come over here and we'll see if we can get this side out. Well, next thing we're going to do is I'm going to pull the bearing out. I had just as much trouble on this side as I did the other side. The seal, I ended up taking a chisel and smashing it to get it out. So hopefully the bearing won't come out that hard. This is a bearing removal tool, and what you do is tilt it like this. It'll go through the bearing. Then when you pull it back, it catches like that, and you tighten this nut back up with the washer up against here so it's stiff. I'll show you. We'll put it in like this. And then the washer. Hopefully this is going to come out easier than the seals came out. Almost pulled the rear end off the jack stands trying to get the seal out. All right, we get that tight. Get a slot hammer. I'm going to take this hook off the end that we used for the seal. Right there. Thread this in here. Hopefully it'll come out. I wouldn't say it was easy, but we got it. You can see how it works when it grabs it from the back. Well, now let's see if we can, we'll go over here and try the other side. Well, next thing we're gonna do is take apart the brakes and the wheel cylinder. I made a trip this morning down to town and picked up a new axle bearing, seal, wheel cylinder, brake shoes, brake kit. So first thing I do is get this side here tore apart and see if we can get it cleaned up and put back together. Well, we got this side brakes back on. The only thing I got left here is I'm going to press a new axle bearing in, put a new axle seal in, and then we'll be able to put this side back together. The only thing I didn't replace was the parking brake kit, which is this string and this piece here. I don't know why they don't sell everything as a complete kit. You know, you got to buy the shoes, then you got to buy a spring kit, then they want you to buy a parking brake kit instead of just putting all the pieces together. Even the wheel cylinder, that, you know, that's separate. I see online you can find people that sell it all as a package, but I think online they just selling you individual and give you one price. But all the shops I've tried around here by me, none of them sell any of these pieces as a kit. They all sell everything individual. So anyway, let me get the seal, the bearing and the seal put in. We'll stick the axle back in it. Well, I got the other side, the brakes back together. We got the axle in. Next thing we're gonna do is lock the axles back in. I showed you a little bit when I took it apart. What you do basically is push the axle in all the way, and let me turn this. I don't know if you can get close. Maybe you can see down in there. You can see the axle sticking out right here in that slot that's in the end of the axle. Well, what we got to do is put this clip down in there. I'll get a pair of needle nose pliers and put this clip on the end of the axle. And once you put the clip on there, you pull the axle back, and this clip goes inside the bore right here, so the clip can't come back off. And then you do the same thing on this side. You push the axle in, put a clip on it, then pull the axle out so that the clip is inside this bore over here. Once you get both axles pulled back, then what we'll do is put this pin down through here, and this pin will stop the axles from coming back in so the clips can't come out. And then this goes all the way down in, and then there's this locking bolt here. It goes through here, goes through the hole on the pin, and locks the pin in. And once the pin is locked in, with this locking the pin in, the axles, like I say, can't come back in to allow the clips to come off. And that's all that holds the axles in. Well, I got the axles back in, the brakes, wheel cylinders. I got the cover back on it. The only thing I got left to do on this is I want to change the pinion seal. I got to flip it over to do that. And also, I think I'm going to take the drums. Got a little gouge in it from where they run it down into the rivets on the outside, but it's just got a lot of surface rust. I think I'm going to take it over there to my brake lathe and just take a couple thousandths off of it just to clean up the rust. And we're going to see how that turns out. Well, while I'm working on it, I thought I'd cut the drums a little bit, just clean them up. They had a lot of rust in them. The one had a little groove in it where somebody run it down to the rivets. I didn't want to cut the groove out because they're old rotors. I just wanted to touch it up, you know, to clean it up. So, problem I got, I would have videoed it, but my lathe, the automatic feeder right here where you lock this in and it automatically feeds it back, is not working. So I had to stand here by hand cranking on this thing manually to get it to come back, but I'll turn it on in a second. I just wanted you to see it. So it works, it just takes long. Like I said, there's a little spot in it that I didn't get out, but like I said earlier, I don't want to cut too much out of it. So I'm just gonna leave it little line right here. I don't know if you can see it, and there's a little spot right here. It was rusted real bad. Well, let me get it out of here. I'll get back to work. Well, the last seal on here was the pinion seal. You can see right here, I got the new one in already. On these rear ends, they got a crush collar in them. And technically, you're not supposed to reuse the crush collar when you set up the pinion on the rear end. But I've done them before and I've not had no trouble. You just have to be really careful and don't go cranking down on the impact gun, you know, to tighten the shit out of it. But what I do is, here's the yoke that goes on here. On these Fords, they use a bolt, the U-joints on a faceplate that bolts to this. So what I do is, get that started. And what I'm gonna do is, I'll put some Loctite and reuse the nut. And what I'll do is torque it down, and it had 2 threads sticking out of the nut on this side, 2 threads on the bottom side, right? So all I'm gonna do is torque it back down, keep doing it until I got 2 threads sticking out. And that's gonna put me really close to where it was before. So let me get a socket and a ratchet and see if we get that tight. Well, as you can see in this video, I've been in a big hurry to get this rear end done. I thought we had it done. I got the drums turned down. I went to go put them back on, and I realized that I made a huge mistake. I screwed up big time. When I had my friend Dakota come over here and weld everything, I forgot to tell him that he had to be careful about warping these tubes because the axle tubes aren't really that thick. And I forgot when I did my last T-bucket, I welded them myself, but I did like 1 inch on one side, 1 inch on the other side, then went to the other left side, did inch, come back to the right, let it cool, you know, and just welded it a little at a time. Well, he didn't know any better, and I told him just go ahead and weld it. So he just went and put a big ass weld, like here you see for the radius rod mounts. I mean, he just put a big old weld on it. Well, what happened, sure enough, it warped the tube. And when it warped the tube, the backing plate that's bolted to the tube also is bent, right? So now look at here. You can see the distance. I don't know if right here is about 1/4 inch, right? And then let me come over here to this side, and about 1/2 inch. You see how far it sticks out? And the axle, you can see here, is on the flange. I bolted it tight against the axle flange. So I don't know if you can see in this video how much the axle tube is bent, which caused the backing plate to bend, not bend, but to be crooked. And it's not, backing plate now is not squared up with the axle. So if you go this way, I got a big gap here, and up here it's rubbing, it won't even spin. And the other side here is the same thing, it's even worse. Look how far this side bent. So you can see how far that side is. So, I don't know what to do. I'm gonna wait till Monday. I'm gonna go to Mooresville. The fella that narrowed my last rear end on my last T-bucket, he cut 7 inches out of it. I'm hoping we can cut the ends off, put it in his jig where he got a bar that goes straight through it, gets everything lined up, and then re-weld the ends on, you know, squared up now with the axles. And then if he can do it, that would be the easiest way to fix it. But I'm still thinking about it. I hate to have to start all back over again with all the work I put into this rear end. It was a dumb mistake, but you learn. Well, I'm gonna end this video here. I appreciate everybody watching. Don't forget, like, subscribe, comments, questions, and suggestions. Any suggestions on different way to fix this. And I can't narrow it because I already made the body to match I got rims for this, my car already out in the shed. So I already made the body and offset everything, you know, to match this. So no matter what I do, I have to match the overall width of this one. Well, thanks again for watching, and hopefully we'll see you in the next video.